What is going on, guys? Star Shooter XX. Welcome back, guys, to a video of Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duels. And guys, a lot of people have asked. I am going to show you guys my Dark Magician winning deck that I've been using in Master Duels. As you guys can see, I am season 25, Platinum 4, and yeah, let's review this. 3 more wins. I'm gonna make it to Platinum Tier 3, and I'm a Dark Magician deck when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! And don't get me wrong, guys, I have a lot of other videos I show of other gaming stuff, but when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! Strictly Dark Magician, that's what I pretty much use. So I'm going to show you guys my Dark Magician deck, so you can kind of see what I usually use, as you guys can also see in the other videos. So let's get to it. First of all, my deck consists of just hardcore Dark Magician cards. I go with 3 Dark Magicians, standard. This deck is a Dark Magician deck, so you need the Dark Magicians. I use 3 Magician Soul as well. Always comes in handy. And a Maxi. On here, Maxi is... I don't use 3, I only use 1. Maybe I might experiment with adding more to it or not, but we'll kind of see at the moment. I don't have any... maybe I could use 3 to draw more power, but I already have cards that I need to. Usually I always draw the cards I start with my hand. So 1 Maxi just to kind of have on the side whenever you're playing those floodgates. They just keep special summoning. 1 Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. This guy's again, it's another draw engine card, especially quick when you need to slim down your deck so you can go to the hardcore cards that you need. He's there, with the 2 I always use the 2 Spellbook of Knowledges with 1 Spellbook of Secrets. That's 1. And of course, the Magician's Rod. You must have one of those 3 cards you must have in your deck. It's a must, and on any Dark Magician deck. Then I have 2 Ash Blossom Enjoying Spring. I'm thinking down the road maybe substitute them with Droll. But for now, this has worked. It's going to come in handy, especially certain decks where they need cards in their hand, and you kind of disturb that play that they have with that Ash Blossom. And then, of course, a Dark Magician Girl. I keep one in my deck because there's other spell cards I kind of need to that help me often. And one Apprentice Illusion Magician. This is why I use this in my deck. I keep 1. Is this comes in handy whenever there's a monster above, for example, let's say 3000, or a monster that cannot be destroyed. It's unaffected by spell or traps or by card effects, and you need something to overpower that. And I always have a Apprentice Illusion Magician, and that's how. Oh, and my control battery is running low, but that's what I use. This one just to kind of sometimes either add a Dark Magician to my hand, or just kind of power over those big monsters that my opponent has. Next is Paladin Oracle Mahad. A lot of people say, why would you keep this? Because I know a lot of other Dark Magician decks that people use, they don't really keep this card in their deck. I do. The reason why it's an extra draw card for Soul Servant. This is in the field. This has come a lot in handy when I'm versing, like, for example, if you see my Blue Eyes decks matches, you realize that this card has come in handy against Blue Eyes Max Dragon, and it just comes in handy when you need it. And it's also nice sometimes, if you have a Tamize, the United Dragon in your hand, you gotta recycle a card in the graveyard. That's one right there, and it has always worked out. I always use 2 Illusions of Chaos in this deck. 3, it's too much. Your hand gets too many, and it breaks quick out if you have 3. And having 1 is not enough. You need 2, just because if having 1 in your deck, the chances are very low of drawing. When you have 2, at least you have a high probability of having 1 in your hand, or drawing one if you're drawing with, if there's a Maxi you play, or if it's your turn, you have Spellbook of Magician's Prophecy on the field, or any of the Spellbook spell cards, high probability chance of drawing this, which kind of helps a lot. And of course, 1 Dark Magic Attack. I always keep one in my deck just in case I need to clear their back row. Then, of course, Spellbook of Secrets. 1 Bond between teacher and student. This lets me special summon Dark Magician Girl when I need to have another monster on the field. If I'm going to fusion summon for any of that, it always comes handy. That's why I keep the Dark Magician. And this lets me either activate a Dark Burning Magic Attack, or Dark Magic Attack or Dark Burning Attack, these always help. Then of course Magician Salvation. I keep this in my deck. One is if a Dark Magician girl's in the graveyard, you can always special summon it, or vice versa. If a Dark Magician on the graveyard, you have a special summon Dark Magician on the field. Vice versa, you always bring them on the field, and it always works well with Dark Burning Magic to clear out the field. And this always special summon. This lets you activate Eternal Soul face down from the deck face down. So it's technically it's another extra Eternal Soul, just so you don't have too many in your deck to take space. You always keep this one. There's a high chance you do draw it in your hand. At least you can. It has a multiple uses, and of course 3 magical circles. You gotta have them. Cleans the field. This card's been helpful a lot, and yeah, you just get to clear the field one by one, and that's how you win. And I always keep a super poly, just one. It's coming in handy sometimes when your opponent, depending on who you're dueling, if they have a dragon, you have a dark magician, you can always special summon your cards that you need, or sometimes to clear your opponent's field, depending what type of monsters that they're playing, attributes, and so on. This has come in handy a lot. Whereas help, of course, Dark Burning Magic is when you have Dark Magician girl on the field. You pretty much nuke their entire field. You clean your field of opponents. I always wait. Whenever I have this card, I always wait until your opponent does big moves. It doesn't really make sense to summon in the beginning. It's until they use a lot of resources, like their monsters, where they're synchroing, fusioning, link summoning. They have a beefed up field with big monsters. You activate this. It destroys their entire play. And the good thing is, if they use their resources, by the time it's your turn and you do your stuff, then you end your turn, then it's your opponent's turn, they have nothing left. It's just you just clean their entire field earlier, and that's an easy win. And of course, soul servants. These are very easy and you already know. These add just any Dark Magician support card that you need from the graveyard or deck to your hand on top of your deck. You can always recycle them, and of course it's a draw per one Dark Magician Girl, or a Palladian monster in your graveyard or field. So that's why I also play Oracle Mahad works, because that's a +3. So usually when I have about 3 in the graveyard or field, it's a +3 draw. And Secret of Dark Magic, it's always come in handy when especially you need to summon the boss monsters that you need, but also when it's your battle phase, you attack with your monsters, and then you summon this fusion summon to one of your monsters, and bam, you got another attack that comes in. And then I have Spellbound. A lot of people don't use this in their deck. I do, especially if you're playing a lot of cards that use a lot of synchroning, fusion, and so on. Especially Sword Soul, this comes in handy. Is the monster can't be attributed or used as material for anything. So I've always my plan. What I do when I keep these 2 cards is I only keep 2 in my deck. Is allow my opponents to summon all their monsters, and knowing that, hey, I know they're going to go into either whatever they're going to go to, fusion, synchro, link, activate this, and it becomes useless. They can't go into their boss monsters, and which kind of then when it's my turn, I get to clean those. I get to clean those monsters and clean the field, and they're pretty much they have no more use. Then of course I always keep a skill drain. What I do with skill drain is when I activate it, stops every monster effect on the field, but when it's my turn. But people say, wait, what if it goes against you as well, because you got all these monsters with effects? So what I do is special summon Magician's Soul to the field. His effect is before anything you do, the cost is sacrifice a spell, up to 2 spell or trap cards, either field or hand. You draw 2. So what I do is have this, sacrifice my skill drain, my monster's effect still goes through, and I draw. I activate my opponent's turn, cancels all the monsters effect during my opponent's turn for their monsters. When it's my turn, I get rid of it with Magician's Soul. Simple as that. And then of course the 2 Eternals, Dark Magician protects, easy. It's a staple card if you have a Dark Magician. Now let's go to my extra deck. I always keep a Mud Dragon of the Swamp. I use it with my Super Poly in case they have certain cards that clean it, and it does help a lot. I have a Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight. Do I ever use this? Maybe twice I've ever summoned it. I haven't done it in a while. Elemental Hero Sunrise, just in case I'm playing some heroes or whatever deck. My Super Poly works. And then my Amulet Dragon, again, Amulet Dragon Z card. Once I summon my Dark Magician Dragon Knight, usually this is the first card I always summon on the field. And then if it's a boss monster I need to overpower or something like that, I summon Amulet Dragon. This card gains 100 life points by banishing spells on both sides of the field, my graveyard and my opponent's graveyard. And it gains 100, so it kind of helps. And Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. This is great when you're dealing against or dueling people that are using dark attributes. Super Poly have this, and then if this card is destroyed, it destroys all special summon monsters. The majority everybody does, they do special summon. Then I have Predator Dragon Stapelia. This is another one just to kind of in case you have a fusion monster plus one dark monster. So if I'm playing somebody else with a different attribute, the fusion summon, and I have one card in my field, easy Super Poly that as well. So I have a lot of fusion cards or extra monster cards that kind of help in my deck to kind of clean my opponent's field when they're doing those big boss monsters. And of course, Dark Magician Dragon Knight, great. It's treated as a Dark Magician, so all the spell and trap that are meant for Dark Magician, they all work. Besides Dark Burning Magic, you need a card that's original name is Dark Magician. So nothing that counts as Dark Magician doesn't count towards this, so it needs to be the original name, Dark Magician. But this does work with Eternal Soul, Dark Magical Circle, and also protects my back row, my traps magics. And then of course, the Dark Magicians. This is a great card. I fusion summon to this usually, and then if I don't have an Eternal Soul, I activate Soul Servant, place Eternal Soul on top of my deck, and then this card, when a spell or trap card is activated, you get to draw that, and then if it's a spell or trap, you can set it same turn, and you can also activate it, especially if it's a trap card. And then I have Destiny Hero, again another card just in case I'm playing any of these type of Destiny Hero cards. I really had no use of these, so I might have to change some stuff up down the road, but so far I haven't had no use. Same with Eldritch, just in case I'm playing that deck, and usually I never had the use of it, but there's those rare occasions when I'm playing them, and it's kind of tough to get rid of them, so I usually like to use Super Poly. Next, I use a Big Eye, of course, in case I need to summon it and take an opponent's monster. There's been some games in my videos that I posted where this guy came in handy and took a bunch of boss monsters from my opponent, used them against them, and you win. And then next one is Iban Illusion Magician. Great cards like an Eternal Soul, 2 level 7 spellcasters. You can discard a spellcaster, attach one of those, special summon a Dark Magician from the hand or deck to the field. And also, you can, when a Dark Magician is attacking, you can also banish a card on the field. Works great. And then also I have Red Eyes Flame Metal Dragon, level 2, level 7 monsters. And this is great if you are, especially you lower your opponent's life points to a certain degree, and then its effect is every time a card effect is activated, your opponent loses 500, which is great. I have a Link Spider. This is just to recycle my Dark Magician, because Eternal Sword makes no use. All these other Dark Magical Circle, Eternal Sword have no use if there's no Dark Magician in the graveyard. You gotta keep turning, especially the Dark Magical Circle, banish those cards on the field. So Link Spider is another card I use just to kind of recycle my Dark Magician. Then I use Imduk, the World Chalice Dragon. I use this as one is to recycle my Dark Magician. 2, if I have a Secret of Dark Magic, I place this card face down. Next turn, activate Eternal Soul, bring Dark Magician from the grave to the field, use it, and fusion summon my Chalice Dragon with my Dark Magician, and bring Dark Magic Dragon Knight, which I got a boss monster do my opponent's turn, plus it protects him back row. So this is the deck I've been using for a while. This deck has helped me gone all the way up to Platinum rank 4, and you'll be seeing many videos of me use this Dark Magician deck. And let me know if you guys think I should kind of change stuff up. I do experiment with this with this deck to playing online. You know, I'm probably out of 10 duels, I'm probably winning 7 out of 10. So this has 70% success rate. Has even more, I'd probably say, if we go with a high, like with more duels, you have a probability higher chance of winning. Sometimes you do brick. It happens to the best of us, but majority of the time, um, you know, I am winning pretty much. And usually all the videos that I post is in the row that every time I'm winning, I do upload them. And maybe, so if we go to my match history, it's not the best, but if we look at the match history, so it's a win, two losses, win, 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 loss, win, loss, loss, win, 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 and a loss. So it's a loss. I have one, two, three, four, five, six losses, and pretty much more wins. That's for sure. You're getting more wins than losses. That's for sure. But the losses happen. Sometimes you do a bad mistake, or you kind of don't you think don't play correctly, or you misplayed a card, and of course it becomes the the pay is greatly when you do those misplays. But that's my Dark Magician deck. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know at the bottom if you guys want me to try other decks out, play, see how I do. Yeah, and stay tuned for more videos of me dueling online. See you later, guys. Peace.